Hi, I'm Christina and today I'm going to do my last book haul of 2023. So I haven't actually filmed a book haul since June, so these are all the books that I've purchased in the last 6 months. So I've been on a low buy challenge this year for books and I've purchased a total of 12 books in 6 months, averages out at about 2 books a month, so I'm really pleased with that. And I have purchased the vast majority of my books secondhand, some from charity shops and some from my library sale, and then I've bought a couple brand new. So let's just get straight into it. I'm going to start with my books from my library sale, and my library haven't done a large library sale since before COVID, so this was really exciting to see, and they priced their books at 25p each, which is such a wonderful price, and I have purchased 4, so for a grand total of £1. The first of which is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste. Now, I have read this book a few years ago and it's actually one of my favourite books of all time. I absolutely love this book, along with her other book, Little Fires Everywhere. So I thought it'd be very nice to own a copy of this one, and also I would very much like to reread this book. One of the challenges I want to do for 2024 is to film some of my favourite books of all time, my favourite contemporary, science fiction, historical fiction, and I thought it would be nice to reread some of my favourites from a few years ago before I make those videos, just to make sure they're still some of my favourite books, and also it'd just be really nice to reread some favourites. So that is that one. And then I have The Last by Hanna Jameson. Now, I read this one again a couple of years ago and I really enjoyed this. It is a science fiction dystopian novel. It's a post-apocalyptic novel and it has a mystery element in it too, a murder mystery. And I remember really enjoying this book. So again, another book that I just thought it'd be really nice to own a copy of, and it's another one I would quite like to reread too. So that is that one. And now I have 84K by Claire North. So I've read one book by Claire North before, which was The First 15 Lives of Harry August, and I absolutely love that book. It's a book about time travel, and the way she plays with time is so much fun, and it's one of my favourite science fiction books in the year in which I read it. So I thought, yes, I would love to read another book by Claire North, and I'm obviously not going to say no to one for 25p. It's such a good price. So this one is also science fiction, and it is set in a criminal audit office, and our main character, his job is to assess the crimes that cross his desk, and he has to make sure that the correct debt to society is paid in full. But then his ex-lover is killed, and obviously it's completely different then. So yeah, looking forward to reading that one. Kind of science fiction, kind of different kind of criminal justice systems. Sounds really good. The next one I have, the final one for 25p, is Never Saw Me Coming by Vera Kurian. Now, this one was really popular on BookTube when it came out, and I just remember it being very hyped. It had a lot of buzz, and then I don't really remember many people talking about it after that. So looking forward to giving this one a go. It is a thriller book, and it is about a woman who is a first-year student at university, but she is also a psychopath. So I think that one sounds really interesting. Like I say, I've not heard loads of people who have actually read it, but I remember lots of people hauled it and lots of people talked about it. So yeah, looking forward to giving that one a go. So now moving on to the books I purchased from the charity shop, the first of which is one I purchased for £1 from the cancer research shop, and that is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. Now, this one won the Booker Prize in 2019, and it was shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction in 2020. They are two prizes that I follow, the Booker Prize, the Women's Prize for Fiction, so really wanted to give this one a go, especially as it won the Booker Prize. And I know this one is about 12 different characters and all of their journeys are intertwined. So really looking forward to giving this one a go. And the book itself is genuinely like brand new. So really chuffed with that one. Now, the next one I have is City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. I paid £1.25 for this one, also from a cancer research shop. And this one is historical fiction. and it's set in 1940s New York. So our main character is 19 years old, and she arrives in New York with her suitcase and her sewing machine, exiled by her despairing parents. So yeah, really looking forward to reading this one. Don't think I've read a book for a long time that's set in 1940s New York, so very much looking forward to giving this one a go. Now, the next one, I'm really excited to read this one. This is The Four Winds by Kristin Hanna. So this is also from a cancer research shop. I spent £2 on this one, and I have been wanting to read a book by Kristin Hanna for such a long time. I know she's one of the greats when it comes to historical fiction, and I definitely like to read some more historical fiction next year, and definitely want to read some books by Kristin Hanna. Now, I really like the sound of this one. This one is set in 1934, and it's set on the Great Plains, and I think it's about the Dust Bowl and the issues that happened in America at that time. So yes, it's set during America's Great Depression of the 1930s and the Dust Bowl. So I think this one is probably going to make me cry. I've heard that Kristin Hanna's books are very emotional. So we will see. Very much looking forward to reading that one. I think out of all of them, this is the one I am most excited to read. So the next one I have is The Trees by Percival Everett. This one I spent £1.50 on, and it was for a Crohn's and colitis charity shop. Now, this one was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2022, and the reason I wanted to read it is because it was shortlisted for the Booker. And I actually had this book out from the library a while ago, and then it had to go back. I didn't get time to read it. So when I saw it, and again, it's almost brand new, I'm really chuffed with it. And I know this one is about this one sounds very dark. It's about a series of brutal murders in a town in Mississippi. And I know that it's very dark, so we'll see. We'll see if I enjoyed that one. But yeah, I've been wanting to read something by Percival Everett, and I know his new book is coming out next year, and I really like the sound of that one too. So looking forward to reading this one. Now, the final book I have from the charity shops is They Both Die at the End by Silvera. Now, this one is a young adult novel. I don't read much young adult anymore, but I know this one has been quite popular, and I've always been intrigued by it, so I wanted to give it a go. This one was £1, again from the Cancer Research Shop. I hadn't realised, but I seem to have got some brilliant books from the Cancer Research Shop. Maybe some of the best of the charity shops around me anyway. So yeah, this one is set in a world where people know the day that they're going to die, and on the day you get called by this company to tell you this is your final day on Earth. And I started reading this one, actually. I have read 100 pages exactly, and I just kind of wasn't in the mood for it. And also, it read very young, a lot younger than I expected. Kind of read more definitely younger than young adult, I would say, but we'll see. I'm going to give it a go at some stage when I kind of feel more in the mood for it, but I just really like the concept of it. So looking forward to giving that one another shot at some stage. So now moving on to the books that I purchased brand new. I bought all of these from W.H. Smith. So the first one is The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. Now this one was half price from £22 to £11, and I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 stars. I have a full book review video on it, so I will link that down below in case you'd like to hear my full thoughts on it. And I read this one as a buddy read with Kristin over at Reading Nymph, and we both had a really good time reading this. I've been really enjoying the reading experience of reading the Thursday Murder Club books with Kristin. It's always been such a fun time, and I love the Thursday Murder Club book series. I find them really fun. They're very witty, they're very charming, they're very wholesome, and I always have a good time with them. They're definitely my favourite cosy mystery series. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. And W.H. Smith had an offer on that you get a free book if you purchase that book. And luckily for me, this was the very last book in the whole of WH Smith. So I managed to get the very last free book with this one, and they did the same offer last year with the previous book. You got a free book with it. So this is The Sign of Four by Arthur Conan Doyle, which is one of the Sherlock Holmes books, and it's a tiny, tiny little book. And I have decided that I would actually like to start reading the Sherlock Holmes books, but I would like to do it properly and start from the beginning. So I have checked in my library, and they do have the first in the series. So before I read this one, I'd like to get that one out, give that one a read. And I'm thinking, if I'm going to read this, I want to do it properly, and I want to read from the start. So yes, that is that one. Really tiny little book, and I would like to make some time for it next year, I think, to start the Sherlock Holmes series. And then the final book that I purchased was The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Now, I read the start of this one on holiday. I purchased both of these before I went on holiday, and I spent £8.99 on this one, but I actually had a gift card from my old place of work for passing an exam. So I got this one technically for free, because obviously the gift card was a gift. And I started reading it. I didn't really enjoy it very much, which is just such a shame. I read about 50 pages or so, and again, it's another young adult book, and it read very, very young, and I wasn't enjoying it as much as I hoped I would. So I took it on holiday, was really excited to read it, and I was just sitting there, lying on the beach, reading this book, going, I really don't like it. I'm really not enjoying it. So I put it down and read something else instead. So it's not a complete DNF. I would like to give this one another shot, but I wasn't particularly enjoying it. I wasn't really in the mood for it. And I wanted to read something on a holiday that I really, really loved. I wanted to read a book that I was really enjoying. So yeah, I wasn't really enjoying it. So with this one, and they both die at the end, I've started them both and not really like them as much as I was hoping. But anyway, so those are all the books I have purchased in the last 6 months. I have spent a total of £18.75 on 12 books in 6 months. So I'm really, really chuffed with that. Part of my low buy challenge for books was partly to save money and partly to keep my TBR at a reasonable level. So it was kind of a twofold decision. So partly saving money, partly keeping my TBR at a number I feel is reasonable. So yeah, really, really chuffed with that. Got 12 books, spent under 20 quid, and yeah, really, really pleased. So if you have read any of these books, I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. The one I am most excited to read is the Kristin Hanna book, Four Winds. I'm not so excited about the 2 young adult books, but if you have read them and you enjoyed them, please let me know, because I would love that encouragement to give them another go if you enjoyed them. All right then, thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video if you've liked it, and please do subscribe if you'd like to hear more of me talking about books. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.